Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I go by One Chief Compadre, and you're watching Chief Stocks TV. Where on my channel, we're talking about savings, investing, and even politics. So it seems like inflation is pretty much taking up the news networks and many other platforms at the moment. So why not I take advantage of that opportunity as well, right? So this is an article from CNBC, and it talks about 88% of Americans are worried about inflation. Here's where they're planning to cut back. That in itself is a good start to fighting against inflation. So let's read about exactly how they'll go about fighting it. So, about 88% of Americans are very worried about inflation as we head into the holiday season, a new survey shows. Many are planning to cut back on their spending when it comes to eating out, upgrading their technology devices, buying clothes, and traveling. Being a conscious consumer will help in these conditions, one expert says. So, is this the right way to go? Yes, it is. It's the best way to go. It's time to cut back, people. It's time to stop trying to consume so many things all at once. It is time to be conscious of what we're doing with our money. It is time to stop consuming so much of things. It is time to start being happy for what we already have. Because let's be honest, we have a lot. Alright? So, that being said, people who decided to eat out less are doing the right thing. I think people need to start cutting back on eating out so much and actually try to cook a meal throughout the week. And also, if you can, bring leftovers as well. Start eating leftovers. If you go to work, go to your business, wherever you go to, instead of always eating out, just try to bring leftovers to wherever you're going and try to cut back on eating out so much. Let's be honest. Upgrading technology, how many TVs do we really need, right? I'm pretty sure we got enough already. We got TVs in our rooms. We have TVs in the living room. And majority of the time, we don't even get a chance to watch all those different channels, right? Nowadays, you pretty much probably watch maybe 2 or 3 channels, and that's pretty much it, if you really think about it, that really get your interest. Other than that, what's the point? Besides, I guess, when you want to watch the Super Bowl or something like that, or some main event. But other than that, you can pretty much watch that on your regular TV, the one that you probably already have already, right? And then buying clothes and traveling. Well, I'm going to be honest. When it comes to clothing, I go to the clearance racks. I don't buy full price for clothes because clothes are an item that eventually will pretty much tear and get old. So I go to the clearance racks and look for something I need. It always have to be a need. Like if something happens to a pair of jeans or a shirt or something like that, that I go to the clearance rack and buy it. I don't go to the store and buy full price on something unless it's like something that I really think that is worth paying for. Other than that, I try to go to the clearance rack on clothing. As far as traveling goes, when I was much younger, I did a lot of traveling, and I plan to do a lot more. But to be honest with you, when I travel, I like to go maybe once a year because it gets expensive. And secondly, I don't want to use credit. I want to use the money that I save up to use for traveling, not to use a credit card, not to use points, or because be honest with you, points doesn't mean you may get the trip for free, but you're gonna pay for everything else. So when they say, I'm getting points to get a free trip and this, no, it's not free. You're gonna be paying for things. You're gonna be paying for food. You're gonna be paying for room and board. You're gonna be paying to get around. So this is the best way for me to save money, is by not trying to travel every month, but I particularly travel once a year to somewhere that I haven't been to, and when I do, it's all in cash. It's never with a credit card. Never ever with a credit card. That's just my philosophy. Now, people don't mind using credit for certain things, which is fine. But for me, I'm speaking of myself, that's something that I don't want to deal with, because I've been in a situation when I had credit cards and I used it to travel, and when I came back, things happened that put me in a huge amount of debt. So at least once I come back, everything's paid for. I don't owe anybody, and I don't have to pay any installments. So let's continue. So many Americans are suffering from sticker shock after seeing prices rise recent months. A new survey from Country Financial finds that 88% of Americans are highly concerned about inflation. Now, I'm going to tell you the best way to deal with inflation. I know a lot of people talk about the feds. I know a lot of people talk about hyperinflation. I know a lot of people talk about how many people weren't working, they were receiving stimulus checks and all that, and yada, 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 right? But here's the real way to deal with inflation. I think there's many than 3 ways, but I'm just going to give you 3. Investing. And when I say investing, I'm not talking about no gold. If it is Bitcoin, you better put at least 10-50%, no more than that. And you have to accept that if you lose it all, then you just lose it all. But you mostly want to invest in the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and you want to get it as cheap as possible so you can receive dividends and continue to invest in it. That's one way to deal with inflation. Another way is through real estate. But when it comes to real estate, you better save enough money to prepare for a situation where people are not able to pay the rent. You have to have something where you can actually afford if somebody was not to pay you. So you're going to have cash on hand. I know a lot of people talking about using a lot of leverage, but remember, as many houses that you get, only the person who has their name on that house is responsible. So if people do not pay you in a timely manner, then the one who's stuck on the hook is the one who have their name on that property. So you have to be able to afford these investments. Third is having a business. Some people invest in a business by opening an eBay account, Amazon account, e-commerce, whatever you name it. Whatever you can do to generate an income. The whole idea, and they all have something in common, and that is passive income. If you can generate something where it brings you an income each month, all right, every couple of months, then that is the way to compete with inflation.